Great matchup in Maui tonight, and how about the guards? Mike Bibby of Arizona did it all against Kentucky. And for Duke, it'll take the fire of Steve Wojciechowski to stop him. There's Miles Simon, last year's Final Four MVP. And the three-point shooting of Trajan Langdon. It's the best field ever at the Maui Invitational, and it comes down to this. #1 Arizona and #4 Duke. They are unbeaten, and Arizona hasn't even trailed yet in a game this year. Bob Carpenter, Bill Raftery, welcome to Maui. Last year in the NCAA, last night against Kentucky, it was the Arizona guards that got things decided. Bibby and Simon were outstanding. They are controlling things from the get-go.
They have a great understanding of the game. Both can play the point position, handle the ball, get others involved, and yet the incredible ability to stretch the D with great three-point shooting.
And, of course, they have the great depth down low with all 8 players back from their rotation of a year ago. Now, the Blue Devils are deep. They are young, but they have a great veteran backcourt. Wojo and Langdon complement each other so well.
Well, Steve Wojo gets those floor burns, finds people, particularly Trajan Langdon, who can hit the three. It's up to Wojo to play Bibby. That's a big assignment for Steve.
Coming into the Maui Invitational, we knew we had 3 of the top 7. Now we have 2 of the top 4. It's Arizona and Duke coming up. #4 Duke. Lute Olson, his 15th year at the helm of the Wildcats. He's got the great guard game, but he's got a junior, A.J. Bramlett, down low, who's really been doing the job. 11 against BC, 16 against Kentucky, having a big tournament scoring and rebounding. It's year number 18 for Coach K in Durham. He, of course, does have the great guard play as well. They're young down low with Battier and Elton Brand. 23 against Chaminade, 14 against Missouri, and he's made 17 free throws in the first 2 games of this tournament.
And he doesn't make many mistakes down there. Good judgment on the kick out. He'll see a little doubling by the big people of Arizona.
Arizona, the visiting team in its blue uniforms. Duke is the home team in white, trimmed in blue Devil colors. John Clockerty, the lead official, with Ted Valentine and Curtis Shaw. This crew worked the Final Four last year. Bibby has the opening tap.
And Duke goes man-to-man, Bob Carpenter.
With Wojciechowski at the top.
And the big matchup of those two, Wojo and Bibby.
Dickerson for Bramlett, the jump hook. Yes.
Ducks in, nice job, good recognition.
Bibby, tough defense in the backcourt on Trajan Langdon.
And what Arizona tries to do is hit you early and hard. A little trap, come up with a steal, and Duke's going to try and push and counter it.
Chappelle throws it in for the Blue Devils, into Wojciechowski in the backcourt. Chappelle on the right sideline. Duke a motion team. They love to get out and run, but they are very comfortable running their half-court offense.
And I think they'll run a lot of it. They'll take the break. Nice little pull-up here. He's got some range, Trajan.
Langdon for 3. His 9th of the year in 25 attempts.
Duke will try and make it more half-court for Arizona.
Entry pass, Bramlett. He's 2 for 2.
Too easy. Can't let a guy duck in.
Battier comes out to the wing. He's very comfortable playing outside. Wojo comfortable shooting outside. Wow.
Well, the backcourt lighten it up. You're going to have to get some inside play, but solid contribution early.
6'4" Blue Devils on the threes by their guards. Dickerson, the dribble penetration. Bramlett for Simon. Now he waves Bibby to the other side.
And Brand does a nice job denying the post.
Simon tells him to clear out. Then he tries to force it into traffic. This is the first time all year Arizona has been behind in a ball game.
Will they be uncomfortable? Good pump fake.
How about the Devils? Chappelle with the 3.
While Kentucky didn't make shots, that's important. It keeps Arizona from running.
9-4 Duke.
Battier looking to help.
Bibby over Wojciechowski. Dickerson had a touch. Last nicked by Battier on the way out. Inbounds play.
Fell asleep. Good screen. Bennett Davidson, this is where he's tough. Doesn't give good vision to the inbound passer.
Thank you, Joel Myers. And last night's story here so far, totally different from tonight. Last night, Kentucky could not hit a shot. Duke has hit 3 consecutive threes. Wojciechowski, Langdon, and Chappelle, and they lead Arizona 9-6 early.
And why that's important is that they then can play defense, doesn't let Arizona run. The first time down in the block to the big guy.
They can't miss. Elton Brand with the deuce. We continue a huge night of college basketball on ESPN with the Maui Invitational Championship. Dickerson kept alive by Davison. Underneath, it's Dickerson. There's a foul, and it's going back the other way. Or is it a lane violation?
May have been a step or a foot on the bounds, but you can see the attacking Arizona offensive rebound. Very essential for Duke to rebound.
Duke red hot. 4 guys making 4 shots. Langdon set the pace with his. Then Wojo got one. Then Chappelle. On top, Battier. Only man who hasn't scored. Bramlett crashing from behind. It's going to be on Davison. He and Bramlett were out-positioned on the defensive glass that time.
Oh, this is a good shooting team, and they're going to get shots, Duke. Yesterday, Kentucky struggled. They didn't make shots. Got themselves running in the open floor. This team is devastating when they get that opportunity. You got to shoot confidently.
Chappelle from Wojciechowski got his second chance after he missed the left-hander. And Mike Krzyzewski had his Blue Devils ready to play this one, didn't he?
Some preparation. This is the end. They were going to try and force Arizona to play half-court offense. See, look at Battier almost zoning down in there.
Dickerson on the drive, and Chappelle all over him. I think Coach Raff said it best last night. A lot of teams would have been back at the hotel enjoying room service, relaxing, watching the nightcap. Wojciechowski was chewing on nails, waiting for this one.
Oh, he's so competitive. Slide behind the pick.
Bibby has to pass it off. Good coverage by Wojciechowski. Over the back, Chappelle, number 2.
Quickie, huh? They put pressure on you. Good dive to the box. Can't get in position to deny. A little brush.
Nate James hasn't played much in this tournament. Only 1 minute against Missouri yesterday. Did not play at all in the first game against Chaminade. He's had a bad sprained left ankle.
He doesn't.
Miles Simon, how about that for range?
Wow. Everybody concentrating on Davidson going to the goal. You got to stay at home on the deep guys. Get up. They want to tag the shooters. Stay close enough. They can't shoot the 3.
James, the skipper, over the middle. Battier for Wojciechowski. Got Dickerson off the floor. And Dickerson covered Battier quickly. Wojciechowski well off. A.J. Bramlett averaging 9 rebounds a game, pulling it down. Simon right by Langdon.
He just has great shot selection. Gets into the lane from the top. Knows how to maneuver on the side. Great kiss delivery.
And tonight he's not in foul trouble.
He had a tough start, didn't he, Bob?
Last night he had 3 fouls, 4 minutes and 22 seconds remaining in the first quarter.
Well, 2 and a T for the shrug. Gave him 3.
So it was just about at this juncture last night that Simon was in trouble. Now a Duke foul away from the ball. Looks like Nate James.
Screening, you got to be standing still. You mentioned that ankle. And he was hobbled when he played last night, or 2 nights ago.
4 minutes, 17 seconds in. Duke quick start. Arizona coming back. National champions back in it. They were down 13-6 early. Duke now, after going 4 for 4, 1 for its last 4, and the guards are making it happen now for Arizona.
Simon says, let me free, and I'm going to knock it down. Then the pump, and Duke's going to take away that 3, and this is just gorgeous penetration. The kiss at the end, rather sweet for Arizona. He has a feel of what shot to take on the offensive end.
What a different story tonight in the first half. I think Miles Simon is the best guard I've seen this year, at least so far. We've seen a bunch of ball clubs with that little pull-up. He's got such a nice soft touch.
And the one thing, he can get it off in the lane. They get the steps because they're going to attack the 3-point line. You mentioned preparation. You get ready for Arizona, they'll stretch your D. You're going to try and contain outside with the 3, force them in and help when you can. But the big guys inside are going to have to help one another.
Chris Burgess checking in at the timeout, along with Rashawn McLeod for the Duke Blue Devils.
2 deep programs.
One just a little younger than the other.
Yeah, well, this is going to give Duke a lot of experience today. Arizona's season at this time of year. Clear.
Langdon by Simon. Trajan Langdon with 5 after hitting the early 3. Dickerson, the look for Burgess, cutting in front of his man, Bramlett.
And he does a nice job with his defense. This time gets tagged. But Bramlett knows how to stick it in, get the contact, beg for the ball. And like all good teams, the timing is impeccable. Here's the discard as the ball is arriving. Not too bad, but you get a little too physical, they're going to see it.
Burgess obviously unhappy with the call.
I saw his brother David at the counter today saying his buddies back at home were checking the game out. Folks going home to be with the rest of the family tonight for Thanksgiving.
What a way to start your holiday with Kansas escaping. Duke and Arizona now. Bibby, the shovel, taken away by Rashawn McLeod.
And that's just preparation. They're going to face and try and play that passing lane as the big guys back towards the baseline.
Bottom left of your screen, Avery, the freshman who just checked in. He's their backup point guard, but he can play alongside Wojciechowski and Langdon in their 3-guard set. McLeod looking at Burgess, pulls up, and a backdoor rebound for Jason Terry, Arizona's 6th man.
And boy, did they come fast.
Edgerson keeps it alive for Bibby. The switch, and it's Terry long with the 3. Burgess rips it down.
Big time snacks. He does compete, Bob.
A lot more active than we heard he had been as a high school senior early in his collegiate career.
And Mike goes with the 3-guard look.
Langdon. Burgess kept it alive. McLeod had it momentarily. Gets it back. The jump hook.
Woo. Competing. That should have been a jump ball. Arizona a little bit lax. Should have been down on the floor for it. But the 3-guard matchup, because Arizona had gone to it, they're going with Dickerson now. See if Mike sticks with it. But you got to compete on the glass. Get after it. That's one if you're down on the ground. And Bibby trying to slap away. Did he get tagged with it, Bob?
Yes, he did. Mike Bibby, 1 free throw attempt, has not scored. Does have a couple of assists. But the Devils have done a job on him that Kentucky could not do last night. And Rashawn McLeod, the senior out of Jersey City, to the line.
Now, what Duke is doing, Bob, is forcing Arizona to rely on their talent. You're getting back, not giving them the woo-woo baskets, the easy ones. Everything's worked.
Bibby underneath, switching it. Over on the left side, it's Dickerson on the receiving end.
He should have been a minor. Bibby, he finds everything. I mean, iron ore, whatever you need. I mean,
could use him during the gold rush, huh?
He'd be a wealthy individual.
Take him to the park with you. A lot of loose change, huh?
He is incredible. I mean, I couldn't see anything. We had the vantage point.
Wojciechowski on the wing for Avery. Freshman long with it. Uncontested A.J. Bramlett rebound.
Tough match, Avery on Dickerson, size-wise. He might be able to dribble and elevate.
Edgerson battling down low against Rashawn McLeod.
They got him.
That releases Dickerson because of the pick. That's a 3.
Oh, they took advantage of the rook that time. Mike wants a timeout. That's experience. They look for their guys when they come off the post drop. Get the feet set up and knock them down.
3:07, first quarter, and Arizona storming back. Any run by Arizona, 5-0, forcing Coach K to call the timeout.
Well, there's experience on Arizona. Duke's had some wrinkles. Here's the matchup as Avery has Dickerson, but now he thinks he can help. Now watch the experience as Dickerson gets a terrific roadblock. Eugene Edgerson, look at this. I mean, we could make that, not make it, but we could get that open look. And that's just understanding. We both ran into Susan Edgerson today. She said that she beefed up her son this summer and got him ready to play. That screen showing that. Of course, brothers and sisters, Chad and grandmom back in New Orleans. Same high school, St. Augustine, that Curry Kittles went to.
They had the Cajun cooking going during the offseason.
All right, now you can move.
That might be the authority in that department.
Right now, Arizona with full court pressure. They'll ease off a bit and let Bibby work on Trajan Langdon.
Mike didn't like that mistake. That timeout was from Lehaina. Listen, we've done some things to contain.
McLeod penetrates, dishes. Elton Brand, he drew the foul on the way up. He would have slammed it home, but the Cats went after him.
The ability to use the bounce. I mean, they have so many people, both teams, to create when things aren't going. This is Rashawn taking Bibby. Look at the sleight of hand. We mentioned Bibby's ability to dish. Rashawn McLeod able to find, and the little scrape causes Elton to miss.
Elton Brand in this tournament now 18 for 26 at the line. He's going to spend a lot of time standing still this year, 15 feet away.
What position would you have him in football with that body?
Offense or defense?
Offense.
Center. He's quick. He can snap it and take people out.
How about tight end? Third and short over the middle. He's coming at you.
We'll see. You like to open things up. I'm conservative with the running game.
Well, he played 1 year in high school. This
Dickerson.
is what's made him better, Bob.
Over the back, Edgerson.
I'm impressed, and I know you are, with Dickerson's ability now to create for himself. Didn't make that, but in the lane, just like Simon.
One of the most explosive first steps in college basketball. Terry steals. No backcourt violation there. He was right at the stripe when he stole the ball, came down in the backcourt. Play on, they said. Avery from McLeod turns to the baseline and hit the side of the glass.
Rashawn had Battier outside.
Avery! Well, that makes up for the missed assignment on Dickerson.
Exactly. Well, they'll compete. The hands up, harassing the passer.
Langdon gets it. 3-on-2. McLeod. The kick by Brand. It was inadvertent. And McLeod has 4.
Well, any loose stuff Duke is getting.
Blue Devils by 8. Now they go on a 7-0 run. Bibby still scoreless.
Nice curl. Use the bump.
You take away first quarter last night, Bibby suddenly in a bit of a shooting slump. Only shot about 25% the rest of the way last evening.
But nothing looked wrong with that release. A lot of activity. Brand and Bramlett are just teeing off. They're hitting one another further than you hit your drives today.
Look at McLeod. Elton Brand. And on the back door, it's Bramlett. Ball on the floor. Brand jumps in there. McLeod had a touch. Edgerson. Possession call will stay that way.
That's unbelievable. I'm waiting for the jump ball to be called about 10 seconds earlier. Well, two titans in intercollegiate basketball. Look at the whack. I mean, you've got to have shoulder pads and helmets. But anything on the floor, and what you love about both these coaches, their players compete. Even the big names, down and dirty.
Bramlett gets a breather as Simon checks back in. Donnell Harris, we see him for the first time at the 5 spot. Wiry, long, 6'11" junior. And they've also brought Bennett Davison, the defensive specialist, back. There's the big fella, Donnell, who can really adjust some things. Had 3 blocks in their first game of this tournament against BC.
And nice help there. He's got to keep the big guy off.
Wojo from Avery, who gets the rebound. Langdon thought about the 3. Shovels for Battier, and a whistle on the charge.
John Clarkerty slipped just where all the players had fallen earlier. Another guy who understands the bounce, out of control at the end, but Langdon, because of his great deep shooting ability, he's got him running at him.
A frantic pace. We must tell you, the weather in Maui changed a little bit today. Wind not blowing quite as much as it had the last couple of days. It's warmed up a bit. It is steamier in this gym than we've seen it all week.
They got one off the ball. I think it may be Langdon.
Again.
Yeah.
This place seats 2,500. They were unbelievably packed in here last night for the Arizona-Kentucky game. By the way, the Cats today handled Missouri 77-55 to finish 3rd. This, of course, the championship game. Fans with fans.
Yeah, fans prominent. Fans plural.
Simon.
There's what you called him earlier. He's magnificent with that. understands what shot to take.
It's like a changeup, Billy. He comes speeding in at full throttle, but he stops and then has the feathery touch.
He's got a patient release. Hands here.
Simon got the deflection. They just did clear the timeline. Avery, hammered from behind by Harris, is Nate James.
What a great effort by both teams. Duke able to exploit the pressure. That was a deuce, but Harris, there's quickness to get there, and then the elevation. Here they go, turn the corner. Look at Brand open up for a passing lane. It goes to the right as James is able. He thought he had an easy one. And don't forget, with that ankle, probably not the quickness to the 10.
This is the dimension that Nate James brings to the Blue Devils when he's healthy. That's his first point in this tournament. Did not play in the first game. 1 minute yesterday. He's a slasher. He can create things. And Mike Krzyzewski loves the way he competes.
How about when Ricky Price comes back? That gives them a lot more speed and the ability to take a guy.
He'll be back from academics December 21st. 33 seconds remaining first quarter.
And you can see him hobbling. That's a tender foot. He's really had his problems with that. David Engelhardt right up to take care of him.
Listed as probable. I think it's now questionable. 20 seconds. Miles Simon almost at half court for Terry. Bibby not in the game right now in a first quarter slump.
They might be able to get in the lane.
Terry for Simon.
Now everybody stayed at home. Great containment on the dribble. The way they were attacking Dickerson, Simon, and Terry outside, I thought one of them could have got into the 3-second area.
7 Arizona turnovers. Wojciechowski looking at the clock as he dribbles down, kicks it. Elton Brand! What a first quarter for the Blue Devils!
And look at Wojo back to protect the backcourt. He's high energy. 11 a game. Great look.
Last night, Arizona was up by 14 after the first quarter. Tonight, it's a different story. Duke by 10. A game with Final Four appeal, Final Four atmosphere. 3 officials who were in Indianapolis last March, and Duke looking great.
Top of their game, and Wojo, the heart and soul, the effort, he spins, he gets back. Almost like Magic Johnson in the open floor, his ability to find and compliment. And yes, did you hear what I said to Magic earlier?
His physique starting to resemble yours, I heard.
Very much like he said, that's what gave him the desire. He took one look at me and said, I better pump up.
Oh, man. It is getting hot in here. Duke, 7 more attempts than Arizona. A couple of more makes. Tonight, they shoot the threes well. Remember, last night, Kentucky was 0 for 9 to start the game.
Now, Arizona not getting the easy points. Now, composure is essential. They've got to run their sets. And Battier zoning up inside. Excuse me, Bob.
Mike Bibby scoreless. Dickerson on top. Backdoor cut. Simon right into Elton Brand. Ooh. Ahead to Battier. Nice play by Bibby, but it will be a foul. His second.
I'll tell you, Shane Battier will learn. Just get it to the right. He had himself a major elevation. The back cut there, but look at the center. This is something they were schooled on in preparation. Elton Brand, and right here, nonchalant as he brings it. You got traffic on your left. Get it on the right, Shane.
Shane Battier scoreless tonight, averaging 11 points, 7 rebounds a game. Checking back in, Jason Terry, best defender, good quickness guy for Arizona. After Bibby's second foul, they pick up 1, and it's Battier on the board, and an 11-point lead for Duke.
You almost look for Simon. He likes to take over, help his team. Great leadership qualities.
Simon answers. Miles with 9. Last night when he was on the bench with those 3 fouls, Bibby took control of the game, so they flip-flop roles right now.
Duke similar in how they space the floor. Ooh, is that deep?
Avery way out there. Terry straight ahead, Dickerson.
I'd say if you take that deeper shot, there's no way they should get behind you. And Mike knows as a youngster, they will make mistakes, lets them grow, understand.
In soccer, they call that ball watching. You make the pass, you don't move, and then pretty soon it's behind you. Wojciechowski, Elton Brand posting up.
And look at the help by Davidson.
Fighting off the double. The kick for Avery. He's not too shy, is he?
Well, coach, I know I made a mistake on the defense, but look what I can do on the O. Knock it down, William.
He's 2 out of 4 from three-point range. Dickerson in the corner. Elton Brand lost it. Harris had it. Wojo apiece. He knocks it ahead to Terry. Dickerson waiting for a floating pass, and Arizona will get it back. But we've got great hustle and effort going on all over this floor.
The heart of Wojo's incredible, but right here, the long jumper, you should be back. The leak out, and Duke's done a wonderful job not letting the likes of Dickerson get going in the open floor, but Brand showing you he can do some things. The kick out didn't force anything, and that's one thing Quinn Snyder was telling me. Look at this kid. Everything. Anything up for grabs, Wojo wants a piece of. He's got some pump.
Davis in the high pick for Terry. Blows by Battier. Sets up Bramlett, and a foul.
Bramlett, one of those centers, Bob, that creates an area. Sometimes it's on the baseline. He understands how the drag occurs with the defense as they attack the dribbler. And AJ just getting in that 3-second lane in front of his man, seals them off and able to convert and get 3. And they need a little bit of that. Have not been able to do the things they generally do with the run. They need some good sound penetration on the half court.
Mike Chappelle, 3 fouls on that play. Bramlett completes the 3-point play. AJ has 7, so Chappelle is gone for the moment, and they lose some of their versatility with him on the Duke bench.
And they bring in some experience as Rashawn gets in. Good offensive thoughts.
Battier from outside. Their big guys can stroke it. AJ Bramlett up in good fashion at 6'11". That's his 3rd board.
And Arizona not paying attention there to give that open look. Pay attention to the inside people, the way they help and jam things up.
Simon for 3. Nobody got him.
No. And a good screen again. They use those rub-a-dub-dub. Good post pumps.
Miles on the bench at this time last night with 3 points. Now he has a dozen. It's a Bennett Davison foul in the backcourt.
Well, the understanding of how to set your man up to create an area to just get the pass. The rest for Miles is rather simple. He's got some heart too. You talk about Wojo. Bibby with the foul problems. He's stepping up, takes control of his team.
Trajan Langdon to the line after the backcourt foul by Bennett Davison. Michael Dickerson returns for the Cats. Trajan Langdon, the junior.
Bob, Bennett Davidson's gotten some real nickel-dime fouls the last 2 nights, too. That's why he was a little frustrated.
Yeah, and a guy with that defensive reputation really shouldn't get those.
Well, he doesn't think they're warranted.
Trajan out of Anchorage. We got the Great Alaska Shootout coming up later this week on ESPN, and Duke will be up there in Trajan's hometown this week next year for his senior campaign. How about the NIT? Florida State knocks off UConn in the upset, and Arizona State, the ultimate of Cinderellas, almost got Kansas in overtime.
Must rebound. That's the notion they gave. And Duke seals off.
Wojo for Langdon. McLeod quickly from the corner. The big fella can step outside.
He sure can. That drive earlier was attractive. The pop out, and they respond quickly with a simple pass to the forward.
He has 7. Dickerson switching to the left hand.
And the lane unattended.
Quinn Tebbs in the game, trying to play some backcourt defense. Devils clear the timeline about 2.5 seconds ahead of time. Duke really shooting the 3s tonight. That one won't go, but they're still 6 of 14 on the miss by Langdon.
And not communicating. Arizona a little off their game. I think it's due to the frustration level. No easy passes, but that's that chest pass. And Rashawn, who can step out, as you mentioned, and still put it on the floor, kept improving. Good work ethic under Bob Hurley. and still improving at St. Anthony's, or out of St. Anthony's.
Well, he does play there in the summer. You've seen him on that court, haven't you?
White Eagle. And that's where men are men. They get after one another.
Wojciechowski looking for Langdon. Miles Simon defending. This is McLeod. Edgerson on his hip.
And that's where he stayed. Usually the TAJ from the block, turnaround jumper, but the little half hook.
Rashawn, the ultimate power reserve. 4 out of 6. He has 9 points off the bench.
Nice double.
Simon blocked by Burgess rather. Picked up by McLeod. And Wojciechowski brings it down for the doubles. They're looking for a double-digit lead here. 6 minutes before halftime.
And Miles should have shot it. He was looking to pass as the center leaked to the goal.
Yeah, the one dribble cost him the space he needed. Duke has led by double figures. They were up 29-18 a few moments ago. They were up by 10 after 10 minutes. Langdon, nobody open. Burgess, a little shove.
Yeah, try and use your spins, your fake step and go. That's part of learning how to play. Gives them an easy one without working hard.
Chris Burgess, his second. Each team in the penalty situation in terms of team fouls. So A.J. Bramlett will shoot at the other end.
Mike knows the knockout ability of Arizona. They burst like Mike's team does too. They can shoot the 3, get points in a hurry.
Wow, bad miss. Dickerson the last to touch it. The under 6-minute timeout. Mike Krzyzewski's Blue Devils not at all bothered by playing number 1. We've had a great battle of the fans here all week. Kentucky folks, Arizona folks, a lot from Duke. 39-30 Blue Devils, second quarter as we approach halftime. We're also approaching the Great Alaska Shootout. And we've got a great matchup. 9 o'clock for your Thanksgiving. UCLA and North Carolina, 2 of the top 6. Number 5, Purdue is also in that tournament. Tommy Amaker is at the helm of Seton Hall. And we've got a little ACC flavor up there as well. Lenny Elmore, the old Terrapin, joins Dan Schulman for the Great Alaska Shootout. Bob Carpenter, Bill Raftery here in Maui, second quarter. Duke looking outstanding tonight. Nate James is back in there on the wing. He'll come into your picture, bottom left. Langdon around the perimeter with Miles Simon. Ojo gets away from Terry. Langdon. Rebound, Miles Simon.
Always looking to do something better. Wojo may have had one. Got his partner involved.
Simon, the fadeaway. Dickerson keeps it alive on the back of James. Arizona will keep it. Hard work on the baseline by Eugene Edgerson. It's one of those guys who seems like he's in on every 50-50 ball.
Well, he gets that chest and body in there. You can't be timid against these two teams around the glass. They are whacking away.
Terry for Dickerson. He walked.
That was a great cut, and he feels he may have been shoved. He may be right. They are terrific at reading holes and using the post people to get free.
Arizona is out shooting Duke, but the turnovers, the reason they're down by 9.
And Luke knows, you can see his team not on their game. They run a little trap. He's trying to change the look. And a tough matchup on the other side. Langdon, they switch it up now. Terry gets back.
Over the top, Bramlett. AJ with his first.
You can see they're off just a little bit. AJ with that free throw release. I mean, that's not typical him.
Sean McLeod to the line. Shane Battier will check back in. They'll get big now as Battier comes in, and a limping Nate James goes back to the bench, really nursing that ankle.
He's a portion of the player he is. They're gutsing it out a little bit.
Why not Rashawn McLeod? He has 10 already. His average, you can see that left ankle heavily, tightly taped.
And the wincing there, too. Really uncomfortable. Duke counting on their half-court man-to-man. And Arizona hasn't really had much impact with their full-court pressure.
And Bill, remember yesterday against Missouri, McLeod only played 15 minutes. He had the 4 fouls. He just couldn't get in the flow, so that obviously motivated him when he came in tonight.
He had one of those days, nothing went right.
Duke now tying its biggest lead of 11.
A nice duck here to Bramlett.
From Simon. A little long. Kept alive by McLeod. Cats have numbers, so Rashawn will leave it back for Langdon. Wojo for three.
Oh, does he like to go for it? He likes to stick it in.
I know we've said this about him before this week, but he picks his spots.
Yeah, he does.
He had a three early in the game, and now, 15 minutes later, he hits another. Arizona turnover. They want a timeout.
Well, Wojo orchestrated the last trip. He waved to give it back to Trajan Langdon, who then gave it to him. And you were right. He steps up, knows how to apply the pressure. I mean, he's a moment-to-moment guy in the flow, and then bang, when he needs it or they need it, he'll do the right thing.
There's Dr. Clyde Young, class of 42, before he came out early to turn pro in the dental profession.
I'll tell you one game you wouldn't play with him. Name that tune. You wouldn't guess any of them.
He did give us a little God Bless America before the game. That was a nice touch out here.
Very
in
patriotic.
One of our last two states, Alaska and Hawaii. We're not on the contiguous 48 tonight.
How about those two? Johnny Dawkins and Wojo. Linebacker eyes.
Johnny Dawkins, two-time All-American, 2,556 points. #1 all-time in Duke Blue.
And
class of 86.
And Bob, Luke going right back with Bibby now. Realizing it could slip away on him, even with the two personal fouls. He needs his point leadership.
Wojciechowski, 6 points, no turnovers. Bibby has not scored. He's turned over once. Does have a couple of assists. Edgerson takes control for the rebound.
See if they get Miles in the flow again.
Bibby penetrating. Blocked by Rashawn McLeod.
Every day's a new day, huh? Didn't make any or many mistakes. The last two steps here.
Donnell Harris will check back in for the Wildcats.
Well, even the good ones have their moments, and that's one where should have dribbled or fan dribbled or given it to Miles Simon, and he has not had many opportunities due to fouls and great defense.
But as we saw last night, don't forget about him for a minute or two. He can explode.
Bibby was saying about one of the writers said Wojo was on the cover of Sports Illustrated, and his response was, he must be pretty good then.
Grudging respect, huh?
Yeah.
Harris, the air ball.
And you got to make those. They've had two little low posts, the jump hook by Bramlett and then Harris. They come up empty.
Arizona called the timeout with 4:12 remaining. They've done nothing with the next 60 seconds. So let's see what they can do in the final 3 minutes. It's a Duke 7-0 run. Burgess, McLeod, and Wojciechowski.
Look at him, he's barking orders. He's going to be a heck of a sergeant someday, huh?
The entry for Burgess. McLeod to Wojo. Well short. Terry running for the rebound. Harris has to save it.
Oh,
for
look
Simon.
at this kid.
Wojo, but he's on the sideline.
Oh, my goodness. He's just such a pleasure.
Let's check one down on the board for a floor burn.
Oh, what's the down and distance, huh? Oh, does he get after it? College basketball, guys like that, make you love it, Bob Carpenter.
2:40 remaining, and Duke loves it right now. Well, sometimes when he gets sweaty and dirty and gritty, he's not the prettiest cover boy there is. But Steve Wojciechowski, there he is.
Where'd they find a clean uniform for him?
Must have been early.
How about this? And we both loved it. Well, Wojo, a leader, anything up for grab. And a leader leads by example. He earns respect. He's got incredible desire, leadership qualities.
Co-captain on this team. Duke on the 10-point advantage now. So really the Arizona timeout called better than a minute and a half ago has had little effect. Miles Simon gets the blocking call on Rashawn McLeod. It'll be Rashawn's first.
And Miles really didn't have anywhere to go but the fan dribble. They've got to get into their half-court offense and run it diligently. They're not going to get the leak outs. The inability to get much out of the press is another dilemma as Luke gets his troops together at halftime.
Miles Simon, 13-point. Right now, the Duke bench is getting it done. We mentioned McLeod. He has 11. They have 19 bench points tonight. Arizona has 0 from Terry, Edgerson, and Harris.
And William Avery's been a contributor in that points area, plus the defense.
McLeod with the rebound. Under the 2.5-minute mark remaining before halftime.
Stop. That's what AU's looking for.
McLeod for 3.
A little pick and avail yourself.
Okay, 22 bench points.
You're equivalent, huh?
Away from the ball. Harris dueling with McLeod. Looks like another on Rashawn. Maybe foul trouble. The only way Arizona can stop him.
Now, you just mentioned that. And Arizona, one of those deep teams that is consistently banging them out off the pines.
Donnell Harris fails to get Arizona's first bench point.
They don't have that energy right now. They don't have that air about them. You know, they've been doing extremely well, proud of themselves, and I think a little question is the way they're playing. I think it shakes your confidence. Well, Duke has a lot to do with that.
Under 2 minutes remaining. 15-point Blue Devil lead.
Terry doing a nice job trying to help.
Battier, who got the foul a moment ago, not McLeod. Long with it. It'll be Bramlett over the back. John Saunders, Digger Phelps in the studio tonight at halftime. I'll look back at that thriller at the Garden when Arizona State scared the NIT heck out of Kansas. Florida State had won earlier. Purdue and UAB, they'll get things going at the Great Alaska Shootout. Gene Katie's Boilers, number 5 into the nation out of that Big Ten.
Talk about getting the roll on a shot, huh? That KU game.
A three-pointer that almost went out of bounds at the top of the glass. I didn't know this was a game of inches. I thought that was that thing with the grass and the diamond.
And the inches there, not hustling for the loose ball there on the long rebound.
Duke by 16 with possession. 90 seconds before halftime now.
It's the same play they ran for Rashawn earlier. Pick, open up for the ball.
Avery, little shake and bake.
Wow. Shake and bake. Drop back, Jack. Oh, did he nail that?
Duke by 19 against a team that dismantled Kentucky here last night. Terry penetrates. Won't go. Davison had a touch. Duke is winning every 50-50 ball.
You can see where Arizona's just off their game. A tribute to Duke. I mean, they're the ones causing it, initiating it. But even that particular play, Davison unable to convert.
With 45 seconds to go, the shot clock moves past 27. Duke is 9 of 20 from three-point range tonight. That's the difference.
Same set again.
That's what you call scoring in bunches.
That's the first thing Mike said to both of us at the practice the other day. We can really put you away quickly.
Wojo well short with the 3. Bennett Davis in the rebound. Arizona with the shot clock off. This is a shocker.
Impressed and amazed. And that's not denigrating Duke at all. I know they're going to be terrific, but they were ready in a day.
Nobody thought they were this good this early. Simon, nicely done. He continues to look great on penetration. He has 15, but the rest of his teammates only have 19, including Bibby, who is scoreless. Duke, 25 points off the bench. And John Saunders, I know Digger Phelps loves that kind of depth. Everybody contributing from the Blue Devil bench tonight. 51-34, halfway through.
ESPN's presentation of NCAA basketball is brought to you by Discover Car and by Norelco Reflex Action Razor. Anything closer could be too close for comfort.
halftime score, Duke 51, Arizona 34. A surprising development in the Maui Invitational Championship game. We welcome you back to the islands. Bob Carpenter and Bill Raftery. Arizona, a tougher trip through the bracket here than Duke, and on day 3 it might be taking its toll.
Well, I think there might be some fatigue, but I think when you're being punished like Duke is punishing, you want to go to sleep. They just got after them, took away the running game. They weren't able to press. Nothing easy. Had to play half court, but scrappy, hustling, running things down. The all-out effort, the leading by example. This is not the custodian. It's Wojo cleaning up the mess. And that's what excites the Duke people. But the high pick and roll, little brush screen has been effective. Whether they give it away or get the puppy set and knock it down by William Avery. Solid contribution off the bench. 3 for 5 from 3, 11 points.
How often do you see a team shooting 52% down by 17 at the half? But the three-point shooting has really been a big thing for Duke, with 6 more makes than Arizona. The bench points, 25. Rashawn McLeod has 14 of those, and William Avery has 9.
And the threes have to be played. Arizona's got to get up on them, not give the open opportunities.
Chappelle, we haven't seen Mike since early. He got his 3rd foul, only 1:47 into the second quarter. He's out there on the wing. How about that defense of Arizona? It has not been a catastrophe tonight.
And what they normally do is cause the opponent to turn it over 21 times a game early this year. You can see Duke valuing the basketball. Early's important for Arizona. They got to step it up a notch.
Chappelle unable to find Bramlett. Good job of fronting him. Bibby tripped by Wojciechowski. No, John Clockerty says it's Bibby.
Wojo just looked over here like a kid who walked out of the kitchen with the dessert for dinner. He did get the bump, but the two of them entangled the feet. Both smart, heady players, and can I get a break, Michael saying.
And Duke is hot. Chappelle from the wing, and that's 8 for him. For his minutes played, he's really scoring tonight. He's only played about 8 minutes. Nice on the turnaround, A.J. Bramlett. He has 9.
They need some low post points. Can loosen things up for their team. A little more pressure. Look at the foot speed of Bennett Davidson.
Wojo just got it over the timeline. Here's Chappelle. Blocked by Bramlett. Dickerson 2-on-2 with Bibby. Bramlett's on the left wing. Short with the 3. Davison for Simon. And closing on him was Chappelle.
In traffic. I think that's well, I thought he moved as he went behind the back, but what a nice read by Trajan Langdon. He wasn't settled.
You hardly ever see the reverse dribble behind the back this deep.
Well, you can be moving, but I don't think he ever got in position to pick it up. And Lute, not real happy with his play or the call. Little spark, though, right now, I think. Timeout caused as Davidson blankets the floor.
Bill Raftery, I know it's early, but that doesn't mean we can't have fun with the top 25. Arizona struggling. Kansas narrowly escaping Arizona State in the NIT. Carolina yet to play in the Great Alaska Shootout. Considering the fact that Kansas barely won, even if they win the NIT, could Duke, with this win, climb to number 1?
Quite possibly. I think KU really struggled. We saw them last Friday. They looked good. I didn't see the whole game tonight. Carolina's right up there, too.
We have seen in football, margin of victory means something. You know, Kansas goes to overtime and escapes 90-88. Coach K, that may not look very good. 4-9 against number 1 teams in his career, but that's as many wins against number 1 teams as any active coach in the nation has.
Well, they're a gentleman in basketball, so they don't rub it in, score by a lot of points just for national glory or the polls.
And everybody knows when you play number 1, you've got to be the underdog.
I think we'll see that changing all year long. That's what makes it such a great year.
Langdon against Bibby.
Wow, that's tough. That's strength. great legs.
Their shooting tonight has been unbelievable, and they did it right from the get-go, first time down the floor. Bramlett with Elton Brand on his back. Elton with his first.
But now there's no way we could do this. And you don't have full legs. The space dribble and the bounce to elevate and knock it down. You're almost shocked defensively that he can do that. Open jumper. Pretty good recovery by Trajan Langdon.
Off the hands of Dickerson. Chappelle all the way.
Oh, what a hustle.
Brand is there.
Well, name that Brand. Oh, the speed of the big guy to cover. And one thing you'll love about kids that stay in the game. You never know when a guy's going to miss.
Duke by 22. Dickerson hanging after the penetration. He had a couple of teammates skying for it. Battier brought it down for the Blue Devils. Wojciechowski directing traffic.
Much more emotion by Arizona, though. The intensity level heightened. Solo.
Battier against Davison. Chappelle back to him. The entry deep for Brand. What a slap away by Bramlett. 4 Cats on the break. Bibby for Dickerson. It's a charge.
Wow. They can't get anything going. Michael Bibby in much better control as he made the pass. Got his teammate involved. This is the energy I thought heightened as Bramlett does. You see Simon distracts, disturbs, and here's the give. And I'll tell you what, that's a bang-banger. I don't think he was there either.
Chappelle. All things considered, when it's 4-on-2, it's a big-time play when you draw the charge.
Well, it tempts the official. That's what Duke does. It puts the official on the edge. Is it or isn't it? Arizona not getting the break, at least from Ruth's end, that he would like on the block charge.
3 minutes out of halftime, and the Cats are in big trouble. Avery blows by everybody. 2 more bench points.
You will be hearing that from a lot of announcers all year long. I think Brand gets involved in here. Avery blows by.
William Avery, the freshman out of Augusta, Georgia. High school, All-American at Oak Hill. He's got that blow-by ability. A contrast to Wojo, because he's a little bigger at 6'3", but they have a lot of the same as far as the attitude goes. They never stop.
There they go. Finally, an easy one.
Davison.
Off the penetration.
Bennett Davison's first field goal since the first quarter.
Duke with a lot of handlers, the 3-guard look, able to find shots just like that.
Langdon. And Brand had a touch. Loose ball for Miles Simon.
He's pretty good with the ball.
Good look for Bramlett.
What confidence. Miles, the other point mentality out there to compliment Michael Bibby.
A.J. Bramlett, 5 out of 6 from the floor tonight. Started this game shooting almost 60%. That was a high percentage shot. Arizona fans making some noise with their U of A chant.
Duke, with movement, gets you to run out in the 3, and they can dribble by you on a consistent basis.
Rojo looking for Brand. Good denial by the Cats. Shot clock at 5. First time we've mentioned that tonight. Avery. Oh, my.
Who's to worry? Well, it's nice to know Wojo can get a blow once in a while this year for Mike Krzyzewski. Avery, it will be in good hands.
Bill, when you play defense for 37 seconds and that happens, it's got to take something out of you. Jason Terry the miss. Duke by 23, approaching the midway point, 3rd quarter, and well short by Battier.
He's been quiet too, Bob. Getting
Simon on the blocking foul by Wojciechowski. Yeah, Battier only 1 point tonight, but he does have 6-7 rebounds.
Miles Simon with the long pants, you don't realize he's quick. It's almost like Joe Paterno with the uniforms and the no name on it, and the dark shoes make you look slower. He got up and down. They're revived a little bit, but still the Dukies in good, solid control. 23 up, and who would have thought it?
Arizona, Coach K brings McLeod, James, and Burgess in from the bench at the timeout. The bench has been outstanding tonight, and so has been the NIT so far. Some big surprises tonight. Number 25, Florida State, the upset over number 11, UConn by 7. Kansas was pushed beyond the limit by Arizona State to overtime. Jayhawks escape 90-88. They meet for the NIT championship Friday night at the Garden at 7:30. Kansas on this floor 1 year ago tonight won the Maui Invitational. Terry for 3 right off the inbounds play.
Look at that.
Bibby had it. Simon. It may have to be him. It doesn't look like anybody else would do it. Miles with 18.
Bobby will not back off. Very competitive
And you know what's interesting, Bill? He's the guy with the freshest legs because of all the time he sat out last night with the fouls.
Interesting. Of course,
they'll get it back.
A little push off by Avery on the side. I also think it's the ticker. Here's the little extension of the arm. That makes it easy for John Clockerty. When I say the ticker, I just think a championship heart possessed by Miles Simon. Bibby's got to play a little more relaxed. For the first time that I've seen him, he's had some problems. Things aren't flowing.
Simon, it just amazes you how efficient he is. 8 of 9 from the floor tonight. And those aren't easy shots.
The floater he makes, and here they get another one.
And Miles Simon is taking over this game. Duke wants a timeout. And Coach K's in the face of John Clockerty.
Well, I don't know if he's good because he said to Avery, you didn't put the arm out.
4:22 remaining. We are experiencing a momentum shift on the island.
In November, Stars and Encore have what you want.
Moments ago, Duke had its biggest lead at 60-36. Arizona embarks with Miles Simon on a 9-3 run.
Well, the guards are going to have to stop. Miles Simon has started to step up. Michael Bibby's struggling. The younger guy, the less experienced of the two. He's got to get a comfort zone now. Don't force it. Get other people involved. Play within himself until the shot shows. But Simon, with the penetration, can light it up quickly. Here's a little double screen.
On top, Simon.
And clear on the right.
Edgerson and Harris down low. Miles thought about the shot, didn't have enough time.
We're looking to get him on fire here.
The bigger Battier guarding him. Terry chasing the scoop. Last touch by a double. It looked like Rashawn McLeod. Shot clock at 18 as they throw it in.
You know, you mentioned Battier. He was on Dickerson early. He's a sound defender. You have to be to play for Mike. When he gets the assignment, somebody's starting to light it up. Battier now on Simon.
Yeah, they picked him off. Miles short with it. Bibby fouled by McLeod, who got a lot of ball on that play.
He thought he had it all. Good job, though, by Michael Bibby. Gets in, helps out. When your guards can get up on the glass, here's the bump. They do a great job freeing the shooter, and Miles sort of line drives that one. But Bibby here gets right into the chest of Rashawn McLeod and gets a chance to get to the line, maybe get on track.
"26 minutes into the game, Mike Bibby scores. Last night, took about that many seconds. Terry, McLeod, they thought it was goaltending on the Arizona bench. The 3 won't go for Bibby, so the Cats settle for 1.
Well, they had Battier, didn't see him.
Langdon, they saw McLeod. Burgess a touch. Bibby with Simon. 4 on 3, but 2 of them are trailers. Terry open. They've got to start making those. It's getting late.
They're beating him down the floor right now. Even though they didn't shoot it, they're getting good position.
Trajan Langdon handles it for Duke. Burgess, Harris, good D. Devils will keep it. Shot clock at 24.
Chris got to hold them off a little longer. He would have had a drop step basket. And then again, it's brand new to him.
Langdon from Burgess. Little 2-man game. Burgess on the back of Edgerson. Play on. The outlet for Bibby. He's got to score sooner or later. Offensive foul.
He's really off his game. one of America's premier point guards 1 day later, Bob. And that's a little bit like life. You know, you think you're in the fast lane, things are going your way. And Duke understands when you've got your momentum going, you can step in and get position. You've got to always be under control. He's too good.
Final 3 minutes of the third quarter. Duke by 17 at the half and led by 10 after the first quarter.
Avery with the foul, a couple of push-offs. They go right to Langdon. And Mike's got his own share of depth.
Langdon fighting through the trap. Edgerson gambled. Wojo unable to knock the three. Burgess. Bramlett pulls it down for Arizona. Miles Simon will be out there every minute from here on. Got to hit one of these. Terry does.
Simon found them.
Jason Terry's first points tonight.
And one of the few times it was a lapse defensively by Duke.
14-point game.
See the poise. If they don't have it, they're yo-yoing it, bringing it out, and Terry comes up quick.
That three helps Arizona shave 10 off the lead in a hurry. Elton Brand is back for the Blue Devils. Quinn Tebbs, who can stroke the three if he gets a chance.
Simon's playing a lot of minutes, and Wojo always in the middle of it, taking a hit. Reminds me of Willie Pep, an old prize fighter. Used to get banged around, go the limit every night. 15 rounds in those days, blood hanging. Oh, pure involvement. There's a little shove as Tebbs whacks him.
Wojo's been working on the speed bag tonight. He's been in on everything. McLeod. Nice look inside from Battier.
This is a jolt for Arizona. I'm sure their lack of fast breaks and turnovers or creating turnovers and not easy points, they do it in practice against talented guys. Now you've got to rely on your sets. And Duke made them play a half-court game.
Is it worthy of note that Bill Raftery just spoke in the past tense? Made them play?
Well, yeah, that's a little early. I didn't mean it that the game is over, obviously. I just meant that the whole change, it tests you. And that's why this tournament is terrific for teams, because you're going to find out a lot about yourself. 16
for McLeod. What a night for Coach K off the bench. Avery has 14. Terry trying to make it happen. Way short on the leaner. Dickerson. Wow. How quick is he off the floor?
And are they taking some hits, too?
Michael with 11.
But this is the heavyweight boxing division going for the gold. The kind of teams that we're here.
Wojciechowski. Nothing inside. They'll start picking and rolling all over the place now.
Well, Battier's got a mismatch if they take advantage.
McLeod bouncing off. Edgerson. A.J. Bramlett. This could get interesting. Quinn Tebbs. The air ball caught by Brand. They needed that one to be down by just 11. Tough to sit around all night and come in and hit that shot.
Ooh, and he's been lighting it up from deep or the post up.
He did manage 9 in that game yesterday with little playing time. He's doubled that tonight.
And Sean's out of there too. Nice post pass.
Bramlett. The right-handed jump hook. AJ with 13. With 6 boards. Bibby next to Lute. Fourth quarter approaching.
And Duke's got to run their offense, though.
You know what's good about this third quarter, though? Arizona really battling Duke. Not folding it up at all.
Well, they're a champion. I mean, there's no question. They just had a terrible first 20 minutes. And I'm sure Luke got after them, appealed to their inners.
Shot clock at 10. Wojo for McLeod. Tough catch. That was Terry denying. Langdon really had to throw the ball up in a hurry. And they get it right back.
And you're right.
Wojo for 3!
Now, he is incredible because I thought they were going to hold it to the end.
Time for a shot for Terry. Never got it off.
Wojo with the steal.
Wojciechowski, a 3 in the first, a 3 in the second, a 3 in the third late. And with 10 minutes to go, it's Duke by 17.
ESPN's presentation of NCAA basketball is brought to you by the U.S. Army. Be a part of the toughest, smartest Army in the world. Be all you can be. And by Plymouth. More fun, more car. That's Plymouth.
He's the one.
Fourth quarter coming up, 10 minutes remaining in 1997's Maui Invitational. Kansas won it last year. Duke, the upper hand here. And what a Wojo sequence at the end of the third quarter.
Well, he energizes the team. I mean, he's so aggressive in nature. I thought they would run it back down. He goes for it. He's got confidence. And then down the other end, got his hand in to disrupt. Now he's trying to referee.
Now Duke getting it done from outside. Look at that. They've doubled up on Arizona from outside. Not a whole lot on the break, but who needs it when you're shooting the way they are?
This is a very important period of time for Arizona. I mean, they are starting to play a little better, getting their shots.
Dickerson. Elton Brand the rebound, as Arizona felt it needed a 3 right off the bat in the fourth quarter.
Well, he is a name brand, incidentally. Big name.
The name's Elton. The game is rebounding with some scoring thrown in. Some block shots. A couple of 42s dueling down there with A.J. Bramlett.
And growing up playing these up-front people of Arizona.
Wojciechowski looking to create space for somebody. He'll take it back out. Shot clock at 10.
This is a play where they end up with a jump shot frequently for Rashawn.
Wojo thought about going all the way. Dickerson tipped it from behind. 6 on the shot clock when they throw it in.
Now that play's so hard to defend because the guard can turn the corner. If you don't pick him up, you can get to the 10 or dish to the corner. Got 6 left, Bob.
These point guards, I bet they like that 40-second clock. A little more operating time. McLeod right off the pass. It got air. Avery is there. Everything's going right for Duke.
Sure is. Nice reaction by William Avery.
You see that and you figure, well, it's not our night if you're Arizona.
Well, they're going to keep plugging. A little tough dump down from the top.
Simon into traffic. Wojo dribbles right in front of Bennett Davison.
He knows. He'll get right in your running path. And that time was rather legal. Mike's preparation for this game. This is awfully hard. The front, Brand doing exactly what you're taught man-to-man. And that was a legal play. Bennett just got in the wrong area.
In March, he gets 48 hours to prepare. Here in Maui, he had 24, and what an unbelievable job he's done.
Well, I think Arizona's game last night, watched by the Duke kids, was the preparation. And knowing that they'd have to play their best, Wojo spitting and spewing,
I can see
ready for Bibby.
I can see the beds in the couch out in the hall as they walk through while watching the game. Dickerson with 13.
Keep trucking. Arizona, they got a push here by Dickerson.
He was down there with Davison, and Bennett will get his 4th.
Wow. March the other way, get some free opportunities. You want to press, you don't want to give up foul situations.
Wojciechowski at the line with a 17-point lead. ...20 assists in the tournament. That's his 10th point tonight. He does not have a turnover tonight. Total mismatch.
Isn't that incredible? And Wojo's one of those guys that if you're in the schoolyard, you say to him, guard somebody else. I want to free out. Leave me alone. Get lost.
You know he's not going home.
No, he's not going away.
A.J. Bramlett's got that good-looking jump hook. That's 15 for him. Bramlett and Simon, really the Arizona offense tonight.
Look at Dickerson guarding Wojo.
Chappelle to the baseline for Avery. He did a nice job of sealing his man off with the body. He just didn't finish the play.
He did. Got squared up, parallel to the baseline.
So you might say a good instinctive move by the freshman using the left shoulder and hip. 8:07 to go.
But Lute Olson with Dickerson on Wojo. Now that's high praise. Excellent defender. He's like the glove. He's the Gary Payton, the Michael Jordan. And let's see if this solid All-American gets started.
Dickerson sits down with 13 points. Chappelle for McLeod.
A lot of what they do is off that dribble. And you string down with the threes. Post people, keep their guys honest.
Avery, entry, Brand. Dribbles to his left. He created the shot. Wow. How many big guys do that?
He also had an option there for a pass, but did the right thing.
6 rebounds, 4 steals to go with his 11 points, and now he picks up his 3rd foul.
Now you want to be aggressive and deny, but don't get caught in a small change. But in the lane as the defense reacts. I mean, that's the rotation caused by the dribble drive by Avery. He competes, and here he gets caught up in a little small change. Trying to ward off. And one that Mike will work on.
Trajan Langdon back as Chappelle sits. They just exchanged one great perimeter player for another. A.J. Bramlett rolls it home, 16 for the junior out of Albuquerque.
You could see these two teams playing late in the year, couldn't you?
I remember the NIT 2 years ago. Larry Conley and I were in Fayetteville, Arkansas. Lute Olson was not happy that the NIT made the Wildcats play a 2nd-round game at Bud Walton Arena against the Razorbacks. They went in there, stole the victory, went to New York, won a couple, and it was during that sequence when Bramlett and Jason Terry, youngsters on that team, really started growing up.
And speaking of growing up, how about the ball movement here? A couple of rookies on the floor. They learn quickly.
Great Alaska shootout tomorrow. NIT finals on Friday with Kansas and Florida State. Duke looking great in the Maui Invitational Championship here against Arizona, running down towards 7 minutes remaining. Taken away, Davison. Now that's his forte, the D.
Good
Bibby, straight ahead. Bramlett, tough catch. What a pass to Simon. And he's rejected but fouled.
That's more like it. Bibby on the money with the looping pass. Bramlett not able to get churned and make the release, but hanging tough here as Miles ends up. And once again, Brand's running back, sprinting.
Nice dish by the big fella.
It sure was. Helped defuse that play, and they are unselfish as well.
Edgerson waiting to come in. Miles Simon at the line. Miles went over 1,100 career points in this 3-day event.
And Bob, there's small mountains to climb. Now 16, you make this, you get it to 15. Get your defense set now. That's what Arizona's got to be thinking. Almost 7 left, 6:53. Duke's been using a lot more time on the offensive end, which makes it tough.
Miles, not much arc on that free throw. 16-point game, 6:45 and counting. Langdon. Wojo with Avery to his left. Battier and Brand, the freshman, down low. Langdon, dribble penetration, slapped away by Bibby. 3-on-2. Terry, they spread the floor. Simon finishes.
That's what we're used to, accustomed to by Arizona. Good organized
lanes on that break,
yeah,
huh?
Absolutely, good organization on the break. Duke, I think, has to become more offensive-minded. They're stretching the clock.
Arizona 5 straight points. They need a lot more. Avery for Wojo. Terry waits for it.
Oh, we got the little leg in there.
Wojciechowski with his second.
This is a dangerous time right now. You're playing a champion. They've got players who know how to put people away. And that look of concern by Mike is justified.
Well, Jason Terry the ultimate six-man for Mike Krzyzewski's counterpart, Lute Olson. He's the one who coined the phrase catastrophe. Catastrophe. And talking about their defense last year, this team set a school record for steals with 10 a game in winning 25 ball games. And they need some big stops down the stretch.
We talked about Arizona taking on the chin in the first half. Didn't react well, weren't haughty, didn't have that feel or look. But now Duke in a position as Lute makes a run to see what they're made of, how they handle it, how they cope. And they've got to energize, I think, the offense at this point.
Quinn Snyder alongside. This free throw to make it a dozen. A lot of time to go, 5:48.
An eternity.
5:48 to me seems like more time left in the fourth quarter format than it does when you're playing 20 minutes. Terry with 5. It's a dozen, the difference. 7 straight points now for Arizona.
Listen up.
76-64 Duke. It's been the best ever field at the Maui Invitational. We haven't seen the closest games we've ever had here, but there are some of the clubs you'll see next year. Arizona State getting better and better. Tonight, a testament to that. Clemson, Indiana, K-State from the Big 12, Michigan, the Qs in Utah. In '99, we'll see North Carolina with Georgetown, Purdue. In 2000, UConn in Florida, Louisville. And in 2001, Kansas is coming back. Wow. Duke's coming back, and UCLA. How about that?
Wayne Duke's pulling out all the stops. Big trip, and they get to the foul line. Nice little confidence builder for Duke. And Jimmy Boeheim coming too. Probably the only guy that'll moan about the weather here.
I can't get over that 2001, a basketball odyssey. Jayhawks, Blue Devils, Bruins of UCLA. Wow.
You mentioned earlier, Chappelle pops in and out and lights it up for them. And here they put him back in, nice baseline move, gets to the line.
Yeah, pops in and out of our lives here in this tournament. He's got 10 tonight. 78-64. Bibby, left-hander. Edgerson there. There was contact. They let him play.
Big trip there. If they convert it.
Lute was really having the body English going. That's a charge on Chappelle.
You can see, though, Mike Krzyzewski stepped it up. A little bit lethargic, milking that clock. They got themselves in trouble. He said, I'm sure to timeout and rev it up. Chappelle twice tries to get to the rim.
Jason Terry back as Lute Olson has to have some three-point shooting down the stretch. Edgerson, the role player who bangs down low, takes the seat. 14-point spread, still over 5 minutes remaining. Bibby is 0 for 6 tonight. Dickerson, he is so explosive.
Oh my goodness, blow by. Oh, smell the fumes.
Back to 12, they need a stop. And did they get it? No. Arizona last to touch it. Good hustling midcourt defense, though.
Now they're going to force it out of Wojo's hands. So the forwards and Trajan Langdon are going to have to make some decisions on the post-up.
Bibby covering Wojo out at half court. Gets it back as they gamble. 3 comes to Terry. Couldn't handle it. That would have been big for Arizona.
Nice cut.
Langdon for Duke.
He just bailed them out. Heads up play by Shane Battier. He was trapped, didn't do anything silly. Almost like an experienced guy.
Simon kicking. Terry for 3.
They won't go away, will they?
Jason Terry with 8. All of them in the second half. He's only 2 of 11, but a couple of threes erase bad memories very quickly. Battier kept his pivot foot. Down to Brand.
No. It wasn't pretty, but it showed a lot of desire. Battier competed and then forced it in to the big guy.
He kept the right foot on the floor.
They did. Look at that.
Bibby. Battier gets him from behind.
That's one of the few times all game that Wojo wasn't able to get the puppies in position. He stepped it up just like Dickerson did a moment ago. Here's that step through. You mentioned the pivot foot, and a lot of courage there by Shane Battier. And he's strong, send it in. Now, how would you defend this now? You think you had the lull, the hesitation, the offhand dribble. Great help underneath by Battier, but the bang by Wojo.
Bibby's second point of the night. He scored 22 Monday against Boston College with 7 assists, 2 steals. 20 last night, 8 assists against Kentucky.
And look at, there's Mom rooting them on, but right now, 11.
Closest they've been in quite a while. Wojciechowski up a very crowded sideline. Langdon for 3.
And look who's on the glass.
Nobody boxed him out.
Well, that's a great shot. Well, that's the push of the offense. The pressure is going to let them get the inside rebounding position. The courage of Trajan to take it and soft enough to follow.
Dickerson making a living in the paint. Rashawn McLeod calls a timeout. He didn't want to step out of bounds.
Oh, they took a couple of hits and are not afraid to bounce back. And Mike, with that one timeout, suggesting, I think, let's rev it up a little. Let's get some opportunities on the offensive end. Don't hold it, go for it. Carpenter, a courageous little check here. And I think Brand just, now here, both feet and the ball have to be over. That's why there was no backcourt call. But freeing Wojo was a screen by Brandon. Mike Krzyzewski changing in midstream, and this team can do a lot of things. The milking of the clock, an ingredient that, you know, you just make sure you shorten the game or get this thing over. Now, just decided, I think they lost a little bit of their edge to step it up, particularly with Chappelle. Nice steal on the trap on Wojo.
Bibby got it.
Here it comes again.
11-point game. They've got another one. Dickerson got his own. Stripped from him as he came down.
Wojo stripped it. So you got to admire Arizona, not on their best game, getting right back in this thing.
Avery traveling.
Becoming frazzled, huh? On the floor, 2 freshmen. Brand coming back in.
Size for defense.
It's a game of questioning yourself.
Bibby for Terry, the 3. Langdon, the uncontested rebound. Clock running down toward 2.5 minutes. Defending national champions, down by 11. They get another turnover. Terry ahead. Simon, baseline, draws the block.
Bob Duke is not doing a good job posting up. And they have not helped the guards out with a guy in the middle of the floor. And it's forced a lot of dribbling in the backcourt. A lot of hands are getting on passes.
Miles Simon to the line, a chance to score with the clock stopped. Five men around the free throw line is the maximum, other than the shooter.
Yeah, Dickerson didn't get in the right spot. He knows how important they are. It's his second in a row, I believe.
Could have put it down to single figures. They'll settle for 10 if he makes this. Got it back. Bibby for 3. Wow, now they're down by just 8.
They don't go away. We got another timeout here because of great pressure defense. NCAA champions. It's a mantle they love to protect.
Last time this game was within 10 was Duke 39-30, 6 minutes left before halftime.
It's the press. They got some energy, some confidence. They're rattling, particularly the guards in the backcourt. And I think it's going to be a Battier post-up that'll loosen people if they're going to score against this press. And the other thing is, if Duke doesn't look to go to the rim or beat it quickly, they can tighten up and gamble more in the open floor area.
Duke now down to 1:32 timeout. And they're in the double penalty, so Arizona shoots a couple every time there's a Duke foul. Blue Devils do have the possession arrow. Langdon, Wojciechowski keeping his pivot foot, barely. McLeod into traffic. Langdon for three. Won't go. Bibby, straight ahead.
Wow.
Out on Arizona. Bramlett said, I didn't touch it. And Lute Olson saying the same thing.
I think he was a little impatient. That was a trip where you got to run something.
18th turnover by the Wildcats.
There's the post up the turn.
3-on-2. Simon took it away. He'll go to the right. Langdon got him well before the shot.
Well, they are making mistakes. You're very surprised. Mike just turned around to Battier, catch it, turn, and look under as Quinn Snyder chats there as Simon with the strip of Battier showing you some solid basketball. A down type of game for Arizona. He's the one guy that continue to persevere.
Duke turnovers piling up. 8 in this quarter, 10 in this half of their game total of 14. Stuart Scott, Rich Eisen at SportsCenter next. NIT semis. What a night for the Seminoles, the Jayhawks, and the Sun Devils for that matter. Randy Myers heading north to the Blue Jays. Always the Cowboys in action on Thanksgiving in the NFL. They'll preview it all and look back on a lot of the great basketball tonight. Miles Simon with 25. 6-point game.
Turn and look. They started hitting the post.
Langdon into traffic. Avery. Freshman says, I don't think so this time. Langdon will take it.
Oh, what a sweet kiss. Oh, did they need it? A life preserver at that stage.
The freshman passes on the shot. The junior steps up.
Well, Duke's got to make Arizona use clock, and conversely, that's a quickie and a tough one.
Bibby gets his own. No whistle. Wojciechowski's got it with 1:10. Blocking foul on Bibby.
And is that the limit?
He's gone.
Well, Michael has 3 daughters. You think that might be a guy he could consider as a son? And the affection he has. And Michael Bibby, one of truly great point guards, struggled all evening long. And everything's a learning process, no matter how good you are. Once in a while, you might not have the composure, not do the things, or they don't come as easily as they do on a consistent basis. So you got to rethink some things, relax, and get back on your game.
He did manage 7 of his 8 points in the 4th quarter, but he ran out of time.
How about this one? Oh, your best friend, a smooch off the window.
That's why that square's up there.
Yeah, that's right. Put it in there, it usually goes in.
Wojciechowski trying to cap off a wonderful evening for him and his teammates. Well, they went, one like that went for Kansas earlier tonight.
For 3, was it? Was it 3?
Yeah. Wojo has already been named the tournament most valuable player. A dozen.
It's got to be a dribble to the goal or get a post-up hoop for Bramlett.
1:05 remaining. Terry all the way. Takes a hit. Brand comes up with it. Under a minute.
Oh, look at the crossover.
Wojciechowski with Tebbs chasing him. Quinn Tebbs the last man to touch it. Mike Krzyzewski might need the timeout. Lute Olson will take it just to rest Wojo, but Lute did make the call. Well, the unbelievable week of college basketball on ESPN continues. We're about to crown our champion. They're about to get underway up in Anchorage at the Great Alaska Shootout. How about that? Tar Heels and the Bruins. Number 3, number 6, Seton Hall in Alaska, Anchorage, the host team tomorrow night. Number 5, Purdue is up there. What a great tournament that'll be. Dan Shulman and Lenny Elmore. Don't forget the NIT championship as well on Friday night with Kansas and Florida State.
Now, you recited his numbers. They could use him down this stretch. Not a solid evening on the offensive end, and not the free-flowing game he's so good at.
Miles Simon, Rashawn McLeod, Elton Brand, and Antonio Granger of Boston College join Wojciechowski on the all-Maui Invitational team.
Tebbs with the reach in.
Duke about to break the 9-game winning streak of Arizona. That, of course, goes 6 games back into '97 when they beat South Alabama, the College of Charleston at Memphis. Then the big win over Kansas. Then OT against Providence at Birmingham. At Indy, knocking off Carolina and Kentucky in OT to win it all. Then they won their first 3 outings. They're about to fall for the first time in quite a while.
The Arizona practices will be interesting in the next few days. You don't want to lose.
They got to get ready for Kansas in the Great 8 next week on ESPN. That'll be a beauty. Simon for Tebbs. Quinn Tebbs knocks down the 3. Arizona calls another timeout.
Get the press set. They have not gone away. A very impressive comeback. I mean, their chins were down going off the floor at halftime. Lou with some reorganization skills, I'm sure some coercing, pleading.
Sports Center coming up next, but we've got 46.1 very interesting seconds left. Each team has a 30 remaining. Duke still has the possession arrow, and with guys getting floor burns like Wojciechowski, that's always important at this juncture of the game. Wojo in this tournament, 33 points, 20 assists, 6 turnovers, so better than a 3-to-1 assist to turnover ratio. There's the averages.
Well, the MVP, the post up also, the move by Mike to get a guy in the middle of the floor, started to settle things down. Little trap and a giveaway.
Natty A for Wojciechowski. Terry fouls him. That'll be 2 at the other end. Jason Terry, his second.
If you're Arizona, you're hoping that Duke struggles on the free throw line.
If Duke beats Arizona decisively here, and it's been pretty decisive all night long, could they be #1 come Monday?
Well, why do you have a poll now, Bob? I mean, KU's ahead of them. Carolina.
But as I said earlier, we've seen in football, margin of victory changes a lot of people's minds. Just ask Joe Paterno and others about that.
It only counts in March. I mean, it's all spec. I think until somebody knocks the one ahead of down.
But you and I have to argue about something between now and then.
A little discord.
I mean, 3 days we've had barely a spat.
Not much. Well, we haven't been together that much, probably. But not a situation where it's drastic enough. I think Arizona, for example, it's only important for them late. I mean, everybody's shooting for them. A Duke situation, I'm not so sure Mike would feel comfortable being #1. What's he going to do about it, obviously? But he's got young guys. He wants them to drill and work and get better and improve. All the #1s for people like us and fans.
Avery with 17. McLeod with 18 off the bench tonight. An indication that they are deep as well as being young. 9-point game. Terry the drive. They need 3s. Quinn Tebbs another. They'll use their final timeout.
Well, they've milked the clock, lengthened the game beautifully. And without Bennett Davidson, too, who's usually on the ball and such a good harasser of the inbounds pass. Tell you, so right now, look at this penetration and kick. That's the way to get the 3, as Tebbs is able to light it up. And right now, a 2-possession game if they should come up with a steal or a turnover.
Quinn Tebbs, it's a long way from a 2-year Mormon mission in Brazil to the Maui Invitational. As we told you, SportsCenter is coming up next. News from around college basketball tonight. The NIT making a big splash. There's the redshirt freshman out of Salt Lake City's Bingham High School. NFL tomorrow. Busy week. Hope you have a great holiday. One timeout left for Duke if they need it. They want the clock to run.
Ooh,
Terry gambling. Now it's 2-on-1. Avery will wait, and he's grabbed by Quinn Tebs.
Almost. They had a chance at it. Pretty good read.
2-possession game because of the dual threes by Quinn Tebs.
Well, the rotation has been so good as they take away the vision of the passer, and just a step late in the anticipate. How about the spin out too by Battier?
Maybe the 7'1" wingspan of Battier is what made that completion. Freshman says, I'll take them any way they roll. He's looking for 20. Didn't play at Army because of his academics. Coach K held him out. He's been pretty good ever since.
Now Wojo Smiley doesn't foul, but pressures, makes them use the floor.
Simon for 3, deflected by Langdon. They need another. Terry, short. This one is history now. With 8.9 seconds remaining, Duke is going to knock off Arizona.
Well, the game is about growth and what you do from this win or this loss. You can't do some things if you're Arizona. What do you fall back on? Your press didn't help early. You didn't get any open floor opportunities off turnovers. Got to work on that half-court game. And if you're Duke, composure. Handling the stress of a press when somebody's coming at you. Able to post, turn. When to use the clock. When to go at people.
The Duke balance. We mentioned the great games off the bench. McLeod and Avery. Wojciechowski 13. Brand 13. Langdon 16 with that make. Double figures for Chappelle with 10. A lot of guys got it done for Duke tonight. Tebs for 3 again. Wow. 3 in a row for Quinn. 94-87 with a 10th of a second remaining. Duke will win the Maui Invitational, taking the mantle from Kansas, last year's champion. We're number 1, the Dukies are chanting. Oh, Billy, there's your answer.
Well, yeah, it's a consensus. Bob Carpenter and all the Duke fans. Well, they are such...
Let's see how the Jayhawks do Friday night first.
Okay. And how about the defense of Duke, though? I mean, they were prepared to do some damage on penetration, take away the big guys in the back.
William Avery with 21. 95-87. And Duke wins the Maui Invitational over the defending national champions, who fall for the first time since February. Don't forget SportsCenter coming up next on ESPN. I'll look back at college basketball tonight. I'll look ahead to the NFL tomorrow. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Wojciechowski, the MVP. Coach K rolls on. For Bill Raftery, Bob Carpenter. Aloha from Maui. Hats off to Duke.